Welcome to The Gavel. I'm Linda Akibi. The House of Representatives is asking the federal government to declare a state of emergency on insecurity in the country. Now, the resolution of the House followed a motion on the need to investigate the circumstances surrounding the killing of more than 20 travelers by Boko Haram insurgents in Auno town near Maiduguri, Borno State. The House has also mandated its Committee on Army to investigate the super camp set up by the Army, which one of the lawmakers claim is responsible for the sporadic attacks by the insurgents. Once again, the country's worrying security crisis is a major topic of discussion in the House of Representatives during Wednesday's plenary session.
So commuters are now compelled to spend the night.
A matter of urgent public importance is raised on the recent attack on Auno village, Borno State.
The House notes that because of the security challenges in the northeast zone of the country, commuters on the Damaturu-Maiduguri road are compelled to suspend their journey once it is 6 p.m. Aware that Auno village is one of the spots where the Nigerian Army instructs the commuters on the Damaturu-Maiduguri road to spend the night before proceeding their journeys the next morning. Again aware that on Sunday, 9 February 2020, while commuters in their hundreds are waiting in the Auno village, the military left them to their fate or at best abandoned them. Disturbed that while the commuters were waiting to spend the night, Boko Haram insurgents attacked, kidnapped, and burned some of their vehicles. Concerned that the occupants of two former bosses and one Sharon boss were kidnapped, 18 vehicles burnt, and 30 people killed, including an infant. Also concerned that no super military camp exists on the Damaturu-Maiduguri road, hence exposing the commuters to danger of being killed, maimed, or kidnapped. I regret that keeping commuters in waiting is dangerous in view of the security challenges in the northeast zone of Nigeria. Resolves to direct the military authority to henceforth stop the keeping of commuters overnight at a particular period on the Maiduguri-Damaturu road.
I still stand by that call that those service chiefs have outlived their usefulness. Mr. Speaker, if you recall, last week I forwarded you a video that the soldiers in that northeast is trending. And what were they saying? That they were starving and that they were not being given anything. And that is why they are not able to do anything. And they were showcasing the arms that they had. That the Boko Haram people have more sophisticated weapons than them. It is an eyesore. We are treating it this way, but it is very bad. To think that every now and then we keep on coming here to discuss on the same matter, I think that it's hard time. State of emergency is declared in the security sector. That will help us to solve some of these problems. And it's very bad, it's very pathetic. And I wonder how people sleep in their houses, their service chiefs, and people are being slaughtered every day in Northeast.
Enough has been discussed, day in, day out, Mr. Speaker. Our security problems is becoming out of hand. And time has come when this House as an institution must take an appropriate action to help the security infrastructure to be doing the right thing at the right time. Mr. Speaker, I may not have the knowledge. Of course, I'm not a professional in the military business. And of course, I believe a lot of our members may not have similar knowledge because they are not military men here. A lot of us are not military men. But for whatever wisdom, for whatever reasons, for whatever intelligence, military will have to now keep a checkpoint, not a checkpoint, a close point, closing an entry to a particular city for whatever reason, Mr. Speaker, is something that we must have to look at, and the military men must be told to look at this strategy.
I went there in person.
Amadou Jaha from Borno State, who has also been vocal on the issue of insurgency, tells a sad story.
I went to Maiduguri to attend 4 wedding ceremonies of my younger brothers and sisters, but my celebration mood was completely bastardized after I heard what happened in Auno. I went there in person and I saw it. And I had the privilege of having a direct encounter with a villager that is more or less an eyewitness to that particular attack. And the most touching aspect of that particular attack is that it recorded wasting 30 or more than 30 lives, including an infant. According to that particular source, as the insurgents were trying to drag the mother of that particular infant, the infant was crying, holding her wrapper. By the time they realized that he is going to constitute a nuisance for them to go away with the mother, they decided to pull him and put him in the fire. I am ready to give out my life if people in the Northeast can live in peace.
He blames the military for the attacks.
Failure or inability on the part of the Nigerian army to have a constructive listening of intelligence gathering from the DSS and other relevant informants in the community led to this attack. From the feelers, they have been receiving and communicating that there is a potential attack by Boko Haram insurgents as they were sighted in community A and they are coming to community B. 3 or 4 hours preceding the time of the attack, there was what was introduced by the Nigerian army known as super camp. Is the contributing factor of all these sporadic attacks from late last year to early this year.
I lend my voice to my colleagues from Borno. The other day, we had a similar situation in Ondo. All over the nation today, there is insecurity. Mr. Speaker, I pray that today you see the alarming situation that we are in Nigeria. Something must give way. We must do something. Otherwise, our nation will be ungovernable. Mr. Speaker, I lend my voice today to ask of you to please involve the executive. Let's come up with a situation where this country will work again.
Part of the resolutions of the House is to urge the President to declare a state of emergency on the security situation in the country and for the House Committee on Army to investigate the super camps set up by the Army.
Page 925.
Meanwhile, the recent attack on Ono village in Borno State is brought up in the Senate. Federal lawmakers bear their minds on the security situation in the country.
As leaders, we are challenged today in this country. And it doesn't matter whether you are APC or PDP or YPP or indeed anything, or even if you don't believe in any political party. So long as you are in position of leadership at any given level, you are challenged. So we have to continue to remain focused and united to ensure that we deal with this serious challenge of security in our country. Today, we all recall that we have our committee, a 17-man committee, ad hoc committee, to work on the security architecture, headed by the Senate leader. That committee is working around the clock. In fact, the Senate leader, I think, will leave by 12 noon. They are engaging with all the relevant security agencies, and including retired military and security people, so that we are able to get the necessary information and input for us to come up with very strong resolutions. There's no way we can do this alone.
Just like the Chinese are fighting coronavirus, forming elite consensus, this is also time for us as a people, as a community, to coalesce into a single cause and fight the scourges of insurgency, kidnapping, armed banditry, and all other social vices. I do not want to grandstand, and I wish to call on our colleagues who may likely make contributions on this issue not to grandstand.
And I was just sitting down here with Senator Aduda, and I was calculating how many minutes in a day and how many victims we have. And just to point out a very poignant fact, that if we stand here for 1 minute for every victim of those who have died in this carnage all this time, that will probably stand here for 28 or 29 days. We'll be standing just because of people who have died. And our security agencies must take note of that.
Mr. President, I think that it is high time that we approach this differently and we call a spade a spade. And I think that it is not just us. We need the buy-in of the other arms of government, because we can talk, we can articulate the issues as they are, as we see them, as we relate with our people. But if there is no strong synergy or cooperation from the other arm of government, Mr. President, it ends up on the floor here as mere lip service or mere talking.
We spoke with a federal lawmaker from Borno State, Senator Ali Ndume, who shed more light on the security situation in the state and what the federal government must do to address the problem.
I have just resorted to begging the government. I know they can do something. They have the capacity to do it. I don't know why they think this problem is Borno State's problem. This is Nigeria's problem. This is this government's problem. The government is supposed to stand up to it and show us that they really do what their best to it. We are expecting more, and we know that this government can resolve this problem. We know now that Boko Haram are centered in 3 locations. We have said it, everybody have known that one. And then we said, okay, in our own thinking, the number of troops and soldiers are not enough. Do special recruitment to address this matter. They say no. Now we said again that the equipments we have seen these soldiers using, or even the condition under which they are operating, is not conducive improvement. All this we have said. So we are tired. But we will not stop talking. Now I have resorted to the fact that, please, and I'm standing here before your camera, and I'm hoping that maybe in the leadership of those that are supposed to do something would see me. I, Senator Ali Ndume, representing Borno South, is begging whoever is responsible for the provision of security, saving and protecting the lives of Nigerians, particularly in Borno State and in Southern Borno. We beg you in the name of God to do something. The war is not over, and some criminals that have been killing people, you go and say you are doing Operation Safe Corridor. That means you know where they are. Why would you? I am completely against that idea of, saying that, what do they call them, Boko Haram, they know my position on that. You can't do that. It is after the war that when you win the war, or when people surrender, that you think about that, and you keep them somewhere. You go to America, there is Guantanamo Bay. For how many years are some people suspected to be Talibans or terrorists being detained there? You can imagine some people are even doing, people are living in camps, and then you are training people and you are giving them startup money. You are just saying that people should go and join Boko Haram, then come and repent and be something.